All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this. And before we start, please put rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, in the comment sections and prayer for his family, his wife, Erica, their 2 kids. Please put prayers for his family in the comment section below. Now, what just happened had pissed President Trump off with the remarks that Jimmy Kimmel made on his show. Not only that, he already been ripped off air by ABC immediately. Now they saying President Trump put in the call and said, hey, ABC, y'all gonna have to do something with him. So they saying that they suspended him indefinitely. But we even got even more news coming from President Trump himself saying that Jimmy Kimmel has been fired for his remarks about Charlie Kirk, pretty much trying to say that a MAGA supporter was the one that assassinated Charlie Kirk, just trying to be funny and trying to get laughs and stuff. And I'm saying all these Democrats keep trying to use, oh, it's free speech. It's free speech. You can have free speech all you want. That don't mean that the person you send to got to put up with it. I can't go to my boss if I worked for somebody and I cuss my boss out and he fired me. What I'm going to say? Why you fired me, boss? It's free speech. You do know it's consequences behind free speech still. You right. You can say whatever you want, but it's still consequences behind what you're saying. So I don't get what these people are, these Democrats, they keep on saying. Every time, people get fired for their remarks about Charlie Kirk, the first thing they holler is, oh, free speech, free speech. What is wrong with these people? So we're going to go ahead and dive straight into it. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. And shout out to the ones who've been watching the entire video. I really appreciate all of y'all. I've been trying to keep y'all, up to date with everything that's going on and stuff like that. So shout out to the one that always let me know in the comment section that you did stay through the entire video, and hit that like button because it definitely helps get the video out there. So like I said, justice for Charlie Kirk, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this. Now, let's start off with, I want y'all to see this right here. It say Disney say Jimmy Kimmel's show will be preempted indefinitely following Charlie Kirk assassination comments. So let's dive straight through it right here. So this is the video right here that he said that got him, whereby President Trump would say, fired.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the 4th stage of grief, construction.
Wow.
Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
You see, they out there laughing. What's so funny? Why is he joking about what happened to Charlie Kirk? Then you heard what he said. Oh, it was by one of them. And this is the reason why he got fired immediately. So, like I said, you can see right here about Benny Johnson. He said President Trump goes scorched earth on Jimmy Kimmel after he was canceled and fired by ABC. Check it out.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
He was fired for lack of talent. Shout out to President Trump. Shout out to President Trump. Lack of talent, because you don't have any talent. This is what these Democrats do. Now they want to say, oh, Jimmy Kimmel got fired. I thought it was free speech. Boy, they want to use free speech for everything. Like Jesse Waters said yesterday, we all got free speech, but it's consequences behind free speech. It's still consequences. So I don't get it. By Travis Matthew, he said Trump told Disney to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. So Disney bent at the knee and canceled Kimmel. Maybe it's time for Democrats and liberals to cancel Disney. Our annual trip to Disney Orlando won't happen. Disney Channel was canceled yesterday. So like I said, President Trump is not playing around, and salute to Terrence K. Williams, man. Salute to him. He said free speech. I'm old enough to remember when President Trump was banned from every platform and Jimmy Kimmel laughed and celebrated. He sure did. He sure did laugh. And not only that, he laughed at Tucker Carlson back in 2023 when, with the difference between, he parted ways, when Tucker Carlson parted ways with Fox News, Jimmy Kimmel was on there laughing at, Tucker Carlson, making fun of him. Now it's funny how the tables reversed now. So by the White House said, great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. President Donald J. Trump. And of course, you can see right here what President Trump posted. It said, great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what needed to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, the two losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President Donald J. Trump. And now like I said, you heard what President Trump said. Not only that, by Megyn Kelly right here, she said, I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but Jimmy Kimmel got on air and falsely stated as a fact that Charlie Kirk killer was MAGA, smearing an entire movement and Trump in particular with a vile, disgusting lie, and at a time when the threat against those on the right is at an all-time high. This was after we knew from the UT Gov that the killer had been indoctrinated into left-wing ideology after we had seen the shooter's bullet casing reflecting, the memes, calling Charlie a fascist and anti-fascist lyrics. It was after we had learned the shooter was living with his trans boyfriend and believed Charlie Kirk was full of hate after we learned that the shooter was not a registered GOP, but unaffiliated after we saw him pull the trigger just as Charlie discussed trans killers. There was zero evidence the shooter was MAGA, had ever been MAGA or was influenced by MAGA in any way. This was an intentional lie to gin up hatred toward the very group of people most suffering in the wake of our devastating loss of Charlie, and Kimmel did it willingly and even gleefully to a cheering complicit audience. Any employee in media would see how depraved and sick this was. In 2021, ABC fired Chris Harrison for saying maybe we should judge a Bachelorette contestant attendance years earlier at an antebellum party by what was considered offensive at the time. Fired. His career never recovered. The left doesn't believe ABC was genuinely horrified by Kimmel and instead attributes this to the FCC threat. That's because even they know ABC has no moral core. We agree with you, it doesn't. But what the left doesn't seem to understand and needs to hear is that MAGA has blanking had it. We are angry, we are incensed, watching the L smear us, which the liberals. Our people literally getting some of our friends taken out, not to mention our president shot and nearly assassinated again weeks later, and then lying about it. Trump faked his injury. He wasn't actually shot. We had no idea what the motives even are, if they are bad from our side. Because you remember, that's what they said. Oh, Donald Trump faked his injury. That's what they said. I have zero doubt ABC was overwhelmed with absolutely furious calls, comments, emails from truly fed up viewers and knew it had crossed a deadly serious line. In short, good riddance. And of course, you're going to have this clown Harry Sisson pretty much, trying to take up for the freaking liberals and CNN. Look at this clown. Rolling Stone is now confirming what we all knew happened with Jimmy Kimmel's show. According to their report, executives at ABC and Disney didn't think Kimmel said anything outrageous. So he's saying that ABC and Disney didn't think Kimmel said anything outrageous, but they feared retaliation from Trump. This is a blatant attack on free speech. See, this is what they're going to do. They're going to use everything for free speech. These are just clowns because we already knew that's what they was going to do. They're going to try to come up with something. And by Nick Sorter said major breaking, Disney ABC is pulling Jimmy Kimmel off air nationwide effectively, immediately, and indefinitely following his remarks about Charlie Kirk's killing, per Wall Street Journal. This might be the end of Kimmel's career. F around and find out, you piece of trash. And not only that, we did get some breaking news that it said amazing. The U.S. Senate just voted unanimously to establish October 14th, 2025, Charlie's birthday, as National Charlie Kirk's Day. I love it. What a great honor for Charlie, man. That is amazing. And I'm glad they did that, man. I'm glad they did that. That is amazing. And then not only that, Breaking say Turning Point's board had just unanimously agreed to appoint Erica Kirk as chair and CEO. Leftists have absolutely no clue what's coming. They're not ready for this. Another major update, man. That right there is some good news right there as well. And Nick Sorter comes right back and say leftists are melting down over Disney ABC pulling Jimmy Kimmel, saying it's a violation of free speech. Oh, my God. So we see now their next thing is to run with free speech. Feel like they can just say whatever they want and keep their job. Like we just said a plenty of time, yes, it's free speech, but it's still consequences. You can't say whatever you want and think you can still keep your job. That's what they don't get. They like they getting put in jail or something. You ain't going to jail for your free speech. But that don't mean a person, like if I hire somebody and I feel like your mouth is nasty, you say a whole lot of stuff that I don't agree with, like just saying like some derogatory stuff just like this, you happy somebody got taken out. I don't want you around me. I got every right to fire you. I don't want you around me. I don't want your energy around me. Get away from me. That's exactly how I would feel. Get away from me. So he said, but they were radio silent when Disney fired Gino Carano for speaking out against COVID mandates. They can all shut up. So, like I said, that right there is exactly, what you're seeing right now. And these right here were just some good moments. Charlie Kirk said his wife Erica is more conservative than he is. They were just, the good times that they had together when she was on the show. You can see how happy they was together, man. And like I said, it's just sad. It's just sad, man. This right here should have never happened. Should have never happened. Now you got Democrats who want to say Tyler Robinson was MAGA just because his family was MAGA when his family already came out and said he was more left-wing. So anytime if they talking about Trump, he don't want to hear. He walks off because he hate President Trump. He hate Charlie Kirk and all of that. And yet the liberals, mainstream media is still trying to spin it as if we stupid or something. So right here by Nick Source at Breaking, it just got worse for Kimmel. Sinclair Broadcast Group, who owns 24 ABC stations in major American cities, announced that they'll be filling Jimmy Kimmel's time slot with a tribute to Charlie Kirk. He said they also demanded Kimmel make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA, as well as a direct apology to Erica and the kids. Incredible. He should do that. Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate and deeply insensitive at a critical moment for our country, said Vice Chairman Jason Smith. Sinclair gave much credit to Brendan Carr, saying, we appreciate FCC Chairman Carr's remarks today, and this incident highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasts by the big national networks. And he should apologize to them, because Jimmy Kimmel, he's a freaking clown. That's the reason why. And by Nick Sorter say, left my butt off. President Trump is taking a victory lap after Jimmy Kimmel was pulled off air by ABC. Great news for America. That leaves Jimmy and Seth two total losers on fake news. And so now they need to be gone as well because they ain't no good. They ain't no good either. And Charlie Kirk had just wrote this right here, before all of this right here happened. It says, shortly before Charlie Kirk left the earth, Charlie Kirk called out Jimmy Kimmel for being a hypocrite who totally lacks self-awareness. Today in Charlie's honor, we got Jimmy pulled off the air. We'll keep fighting for you, Charlie. And this is what Charlie Kirk said after, whatever this clown said in this video. And he said, Jimmy Kimmel says repulsive liberal voices drive people away from the Democrat Party, but somehow fails to admit he's one of them. And this is what Charlie Kirk said to him. And this clown gonna try to get on TV and make fun of it. Make it seem like President Trump don't care about Charlie Kirk and stuff like that. These people are dumb, man. They are freaking losers. Just the way that they think. Then, of course, you already knew CNN. They got to bring somebody up. They got to bring somebody up that try to, take up for Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, why is MAGA doing this? Laughing my butt off. CNN and Brian Stelter are absolutely melting down after ABC pulled Jimmy Kimmel off air. We sent the left into a total tailspin. Charlie will be so proud of us. Listen to them.
Go ahead. I'm interested because are they sending everyone home? You know, what's happening on the scene? You know, the show would have been taping within the next hour. So people would be there. Yes, this is very abrupt, very abrupt.
And this is all about jawboning. It's all about public pressure. You know, actually revoking FCC licenses is extremely difficult. I wrote about this last fall when candidate Donald Trump was talking on the campaign trail about wanting to punish stations by taking away their licenses. And throughout the history of the country, ever since we've had broadcast television, license revocations are extraordinarily rare. Once you've got one, you're pretty much guaranteed to keep it. So the threat is not that the FCC is actually going to take away a license. It's about the public noise. It's about the shame and embarrassment. It's about Brendan Carr going on podcasts and embarrassing ABC. You know, there's a term for this. It's jawboning, and that's what we've seen happen today in a very real way. Trump vowed retribution on the campaign trail, and he's getting it. He's getting it against entertainers and comedians. But Aaron, for every reaction, there is a counter-reaction. Stephen Colbert has already been joking about getting hired somewhere else. Those jokes mask a very real intention, right? Yeah. Where will he get picked up instead? If Kimmel parts ways with ABC, and again, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Kimmel's contract is coming due soon. Kimmel will probably end up somewhere else. And if big, old-fashioned mainstream media companies don't have the guts to employ these people, then we're going to see startups start to flourish. You know, we talk about the Substack era with people launching newsletters and live streams on YouTube. We're going to see more of that if these old-fashioned media companies can't stand a little bit of pressure from the president.
Yeah, well, I mean, but it is stunning to see such a thing happen and to show this world that we're living in. Van Jones is joining me now on the phone. So, Van, you know, all of a sudden you see this headline, Jimmy Kimmel put on hold indefinitely by ABC News after the head of the FCC goes on a far-right podcast and says we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And do you think in your mind it's possible this might not be real?
I don't know what's real or what's not real. I do know that a news organization anywhere in the world has a responsibility to stand up to government bullying, to government censorship. That is what we do. That is why we exist. Not to knuckle under, not to do what we're told, but to stand up and to say, listen, if you want to pull these licenses, then we're going to go to court. And we'll be in the court of public opinion. But you don't get to go on a podcast and set policy for American media, for an American media institution that's been...
Oh, shut up, Van Jones. You cry, baby. That's all you do is cry and lie. You done said some of the most derogatory stuff about President Trump and about Charlie Kirk. Who cares about what you think? All y'all over there are just clowns. Trying to take up for somebody. Now, imagine if something would have happened on one of y'all's side to one of y'all favorites over there. Imagine, and if somebody from MAGA made a comment like that, or either we had like a comedian that support President Trump that made a comment like that, y'all would be doing the same thing. Y'all, look who y'all censored. Did y'all censor Zuckerberg on Facebook? Look at all the people y'all censored. Like, these people are hypocrites and clowns, man.
Around a lot longer than me, you, or Donald Trump. This is a red line that has been crossed for our industry, for the First Amendment, for the right of people to speak. Oh. There was nothing hateful about what was said, and even hateful speech is protected.
Oh, it wasn't nothing hateful. You know what they always say, that until it's one of their loved ones that it happened to or somebody say something about. It wasn't hate. Who is you to call for that? You think Charlie Kirk's wife Erica? You know, you don't think she didn't like that? You can tell she didn't like that. You know she didn't like that. Like, these people, listen to what he's saying.
This is not acceptable. If you are going to run a media organization, it's called a news organization, you have to stand up to government bullying anywhere in the world, and certainly in the United States.
Well, the job should be to, speak truth to power, even when there are people who don't like the word truth anymore. All right, Van, stay with us. I want to bring in the Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia because he is the ranking member on the House Oversight Committee. And Congressman, I appreciate your time. We had planned to talk about something very different and obviously very important tonight in the Epstein files. This news, though, has just broken, and it is of utmost importance at this very moment. May I just ask you, what's your response when you hear what ABC has done after the FCC chair said we could do this the easy way or the hard way?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we are all just learning about what just happened, not having all the information, but what I'm hearing is pretty outrageous. Look, we can all, of course, agree that political violence is horrific. What happened to Charlie Kirk is horrific.
Okay, it's horrific, but yet y'all still be pushing the same rhetoric that caused it. That's the problem. The same rhetoric that come out y'all mouth, y'all still push it. You're still calling people fascists, Nazis. You calling them, you calling everybody over there that supports President Trump and President Trump himself, J.D. Vance. Y'all still calling them all of these names. And then you're gonna get them, what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific. Yes, we know it was. But y'all will say that and still go right back to calling people that support President Trump and MAGA the same thing that caused that.
But the idea that someone is going to get pulled off a news program, off a channel that's supposed to be independent, and that ABC is making this decision because of possible political pressure through the president, is both stunning and outrageous. And so I think that as information comes out, we've got to understand what exactly happened, who made these decisions. There's a lot of questions right now. I think the foundation of a democracy is also having a strong, independent news organizations and a strong independent media. And it's a huge important part of democracy. So I'm honestly pretty stunned. I mean, what happened with Stephen Colbert, what's happening right now with Jimmy Kimmel, this cannot be a pattern in the United States. So we've got to stand up and allow the media to be independent.
Well, it is unfortunately a pattern now. We're gonna queue up again in just a second what Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, said on that that right-wing podcast earlier today. But first, just because you made the point, Congressman, that what Jimmy Kimmel said was not celebratory or hate speech, which it wasn't. And again, I will make the point that there are some, including people like Ted Cruz, who came out yesterday and said even that speech is protected in the United States. So I'm not trying to put up that would be some sort of an excuse. I am just pointing out that's not what he said. I want to play again for anyone just joining to understand what it was that Jimmy Kimmel said that prompted the FCC chair to say we could do this the easy or the hard way. Here's Jimmy.
Oh, shut up. We already seen it. We know what he said. We don't need to up there and listen to what y'all got to say. Y'all just trying to cover for him. Like, these people are sick, man. This is just what they do. Breaking news star who controls almost 24 ABC station major American city just announced they would no longer air Jimmy Kimmel show. And that's the reason why you see CNN over there panicking. Now, this is the same clown right here. Think about this. Now, Brian Stelter was just talking about the Jimmy Kimmel situation. And look at this. Just in, conservatives have resurfaced this clip of Brian Stelter justifying censorship. Think about it. He was justifying when his own conservatives, the Republicans, he got something to say, but when it's on their side, it's free speech. Donald Trump them shouldn't have did that. Look at this. Conservatives have resurfaced this clip of Brian Stelter justifying censorship of conservatives after he melted down over Jimmy Kimmel being suspended.
And the polluters are trying to deflect blame. Dishonest cries of censorship are filling Fox's airwaves with charges that these guys right here are being suppressed. The word censorship's been invoked almost 400 times on Fox this month alone, and more than 300 times on Newsmax. Post-insurrection, a book publisher decided that it did not want to be in business with Senator Josh Hawley. So he's been on a national TV tour claiming he's muzzled. And Tucker Carlson is telling viewers that this network, CNN, is trying to force Fox News off the air, which is patently false. It's as predictable as the sunrise. Democrats win elections, and then Republicans say they are being silenced. But while some cry cancel culture, let me suggest a different way to think about this. A harm reduction model.
Now, listen to him. Listen to him.
Most people want clean air and blue skies and accurate news and rational views. And then in that healthy environment that looks beautiful, then we can have great fights about taxes and regulation and healthcare and all the rest.
These people are
The
hypocrites.
vast majority of people can agree that disinformation about, let's say, the pandemic is unhealthy. It's harmful. So how can that harm be reduced? Well, big tech platforms say they are removing lies about vaccines and stamping out Stop the Steal BS and QAnon cult content. Now, do these private companies have too much power? Sure. And many people would say yes, of course they do. But reducing a liar's reach is not the same as censoring freedom of speech.
So he's justifying see that? Justifying censorship of conservatives. He all happy. Look at the way he's talking. Look at the way he's talking. This is the clown that was just over there crying about what just happened to Jimmy Kimmel.
Freedom of speech is different than freedom of reach. And algorithmic reach is part of the problem. Now, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg seems to agree. Here's the headline from Politico. He's pledging to depoliticize Facebook. Zuckerberg says one of the top pieces of feedback that we're hearing.
Oh, shut your damn mouth. Now, let's get right here. President Trump, pretty much saying at the time that he told Charlie Kirk that he had a good shot of being president one day. Check it out.
Just last week, a great American, Charlie Kirk, was heinously assassinated for speaking his mind. He was a great young man, incredible future. Some people said he might be president someday. I told him, I said, Charlie, I think you have a good shot someday at being president. And he just wanted to take care of youth. He loved youth. I've never seen anybody relate to youth like Charlie, and they related to him, and they're devastated. But I appreciate the many British citizens who have offered their condolences. And again, Charlie was a great person. We'll be going out to a service on Sunday. I'll be leaving with some of the people in this room just to celebrate Charlie and all that he's done. So incredible. Never seen anything like it.
So like I said, salute to President Trump. And I told y'all this earlier that, the U.S. Senate just, voted unanimously to establish October 14th, Charlie's birthday, as National Charlie Kirk Day. And like I said earlier, I absolutely love that idea. I think, like I said before, I think that right there is amazing, to have that. So, like I said, thank you all for watching. Get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about this. Jimmy Kimmel got everything he deserved. He deserved to be fired. And that's why you got CNN over there crying, just crying their eyes out. So like I said, thank you all for watching. Get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about it. And like I said, please put rest in peace to Charlie Kirk in the comment section. Please put prayers for his family, his wife, Erica, their 2 kids. Please put prayers for them in the comment section. And like I said, thank you all for watching. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.